I was on the telephone when Dr. Patel came in to see me. I motioned that I was almost done with my call. Without expression, the doctor waited nearly a minute before checking his watch again, and then forcibly removed the phone from my hand, turning it off and placing it in the large pocket of his lab coat. "I was just finishing up, as I showed you," I said defensively. Dr. Patel cut me off. "You don't get to do that. This is my hospital. You don't work for me. You hired me to do a job, and I'm going to do it, or I will send you someplace else where they don't care what kind of quality care you get. Am I making myself perfectly understood, Mr. Gambini?" "Yes. Are you going to give me my phone back? I have important." "Oh, we are so important. I understand you have yet to thank the woman who saved your leg." "What?" I was ready to throw myself at Patel. "You need to listen to me carefully, Mr. Gambini. We have a few more things left to do. Or, if you like, I can stop doing anything, and then we can watch you heal into a cripple. It will be funny to see this former big, strong man hobbling around, chasing women and pushing people around with his cane. People will laugh at him, and they should, because he's a very, very stupid man who has an enormous ego and hasn't yet learned his lesson." "What lesson?" I asked. "First we crawl, then we walk, then we run. Do you ever remember hearing that during your SEALs training? Do you know that there are people who break records and win marathons who crawl or walk during part of the race? Figure that one out. Do you know why that is? Because that's how they've trained? No, Mr. Gambini. It's because they are not idiots. They are true champions. They do what they can do, but they do all they can do. They put their whole heart into it, to the last drop of their blood. Those people are winners. You used to be a winner when you were a SEAL." "When called, I could be again," I interrupted. "I don't think so. You're going to look like Mr. Toad walking down the road because your ego is so attached to that cauliflower next to your ear you call a cell phone that you're not paying attention to getting your body ready to be able to be all you can be. If you don't pay attention to it, it will in turn kick you in the ass." "You have a crappy bedside manner, doctor." "I have a horse's ass for a patient. You might think you're special with your millions, your tats, and the fun things you get to do. Meanwhile, I'm fixing people's frames so their plumbing works, so their head doesn't roll to one side. I'm a simple car mechanic, and you want to take that car out and run it on 3 wheels, telling yourself you're the best driver on the planet. But you can't win any races with 3 wheels, and your mechanic is screaming to you to let him fix the tire. But of course you have much more important things going on. World-class things. Have you ever wondered why someone might want to blow up this wonderful body of yours? Think about it. Someone may want you dead, Mr. Gambini." Dr. Patel started to walk out when I said, "I'm sorry. You're right. I've been a jerk." "That's not the word I would have used. I understand that you let that woman walk out of here who stayed with you all night long so she could see you first thing when you woke up, who slept in a damn plastic chair in the waiting area for 6 hours, hoping for some good news that I might bring her. She told me to take the risk, save the leg, and, hopefully, also save your life. She had courage, and yet you let her just walk away from this place without even a thank you. What kind of man are you? A big man or a little scared one?" "I'm better than that. I had reasons for not telling her everything I knew. I just found out. I was trying to keep her from danger." That's between the two of you. But remember what I said in the beginning. This is my hospital, not your office. We do things my way here, not your way. Here, we respect people, not for who they are, but for what they can do. Right now, all you can do is get well. That's it. But I have to find her. I must find out about her older sister's accident, because it might not have been an accident. Well, have it your way, Mr. Gambini. It will certainly be no accident when your big toe rubs flush against the arch in your other foot. When you pee and shit out of the same hole. When getting up to put your underwear on is so painful you have to go back to bed for an hour. These things could happen. Do I have your attention now? You do. And I apologize. Okay. Dr. Patel sat on the edge of the bed, leaning into me. I am going to need to operate tomorrow on that left knee. I was worried about your hip, since the full force of your body landed on that leg, and it apparently was bent back at a very unnatural angle. Hips come from knees. Since the hip checks out fine, now we can focus on the knee. How long will I be here then? Recuperating. If your femur is beginning to heal and accepts the pins and rods we've placed there to stabilize it, and the knee operation goes as planned, you'll be out in 2, maybe 3 days. What about this damned catheter? I might just keep that in for spite, Mr. Gambini. I didn't detect any change in the doctor's expression. He looked deadly serious. That's not funny. We can remove it when you go pee in a toilet, even if you have to have help doing so. Once that begins, then we no longer need the catheter. Until then, we advise against wetting the bed. Patients who do so have to mop the hallway afterwards and frequently get spanked with a stiff boar bristle hairbrush. The doctor was funny as hell, but at my expense. I had to convince him that there was danger all around him, and that if Shannon was on her own, her life was in jeopardy. Allow me to assemble my team for a brief meeting. We'll put into motion a plan, and we will stick to that plan. But I must lead them. That's the way it works in my world. Someone in my group has been compromised, and until I find out who, everyone is suspect, and no one is safe. Least of all, Shannon. And time is of the essence. Dr. Patel stood. I will return your phone provided you limit your calls to 1 hour a day. But that's not nearly enough. Is this your hospital, Mr. Gambini? No, but... And you will be allowed 1 meeting, today if you prefer. Tomorrow is surgery day, so no meetings. You must get a good night's sleep. Your minions can serve you very well, I suspect, if you let them. Your job is to let your body heal. Stress, especially undue stress, emotional agitation, is not your friend. I personally think they dissolve stitches. But I can work, right? I can text and give directions, and I can send emails from my phone. Yes, I believe so. Then I'll be the model patient. You won't have to worry about me. Remember what I said to you initially? This is my hospital. It's not going to be transformed into your office. Before he left the room, he turned, reached into his pocket, and tossed me my cell. Thanks, Doc. When will I see you next? I'll stop by tonight between 8 and 10, depending. I'm going to make sure my assessment still holds, so don't do anything stupid like try to walk or fall out of bed. We had a Pacific Islander family here one time visiting, and our guy was a huge man. I think he topped 350. Naturally, he had to have both knees done at once because, well, he is a lineage from a warrior class. Exactly. I mean, my cousins are still digging archaeological sites, brewing chai and doing telemarketing on their stationary bicycles, generating electricity for his home. You know, that little Indian guy who always calls you with the name of Chad or Kevin to tell you your car or computer is nearly out of warranty. I'm probably related to him. Don't beat yourself up. My great-grandfather made a small fortune selling wine to Garibaldi during the Great Unification War. I'm not familiar with that one. Half Italian, I said, pointing to my chest. It's a different kind of bravado, but wine can be very important to a successful campaign. Oh, indeed. I agree with you there. Well, despite me telling him to wait for the orderlies to take him to the toilet, he had several of his family members help him go. And of course, he fell. So that night, I didn't get any sleep. I had to replace his hip, which was now fractured, and then we went in a couple of days later and redid the knee that I'd done so well the first time. Did he stay down? I hated to do it, but it was a necessity. Told the family they'd be arrested if they tried it again, and we tied the poor fella to the bed. He's back out there playing rugby again. I'm sure our paths will cross another time or two. That's a great story. The moral is do not slip in the bathroom. No, don't get your friends to try to take you there. First, you have a catheter, and I can make it so you are constantly reminded of it, Marco, so don't test me. But second, your femur is weaker than an 80-year-old woman's right now. I'm not sure I can put it all back together again. It's a very bad idea, Marco. Be patient. Like I said, let your minions do the work for you. Have your meeting, but try to be done by 8, or I'll embarrass you in front of them. You remind me of a couple of my drill instructors at Coronado, Dr. Patel. I think you might have missed your calling. No, I'll let the Navy train them. I'll let their wives and girlfriends love the hair off their bodies, and I'll patch them up when I can. I know my place in the world, Mr. Gambini. I'm not going to try to be anything I'm not, but I know a thing or two about people. I know when I meet a hero, and I know when I see the woman he should go after. If you don't get her back, it will be the worst decision you will ever make in your life. Coming from experience? That information is private. I'm a happily married man with 2 small children. My life is just as exciting as I want it to be. I go to sleep at night knowing I've made the world a better place. So do I, Doctor. So do I. I was sorry to see him go, but I was getting text already from my team with information on Shannon and other things concerning the bombing. I hoped I had time to talk to the doctor at length about his life, what he'd lived through, and how he came to be such an incredible human being.